working group called Notes. So if you all want to jump in that document, it would be great because there are the links of the topics of the agenda. And my computer is really slow when I share screen, so that would be like really amazing to work in the document. And I can start with what is conflict for me. And I think conflict is energy that can drive to movement. And I think that to think about conflict between bad or good is to like try to um, see the forces of nature as something that can be moralized. And I think that conflict is natural to every social and structure. And I think that it's not bad, but it's definitely something that we should manage, because this energy that drives for conflict, if it's well channeled, it can be used for create something good, or for create something and to evolve from the first stage from where we came from. But if we don't manage properly that energy, that might drive also to destruction and to division. So yeah, I think should like discuss because it will be in our lives, in every moment in our personal life and in our collective life and in our work. So it's very important to be able to deal with this energy, to make it something creative and not make it something destructive. And I will pass to Mateo.
Yeah, I like a lot the analogy that you are making with energy because I'm having feedback. I think it's you, Juanca.
Sorry, it's
Yeah.
me. Yes.
Yeah, following the analogy of energy, I think that conflict is opposition of sorts. I like that as energy needs to change, the change must come for some interaction of sorts. And a simple interaction can be the opposite of whatever you are feeling. So for something to change, it needs something outsider or something that interacts with you that makes you change your current state. And I think conflict is needed for many or either or any uh, current change in energies. So yeah, I think that in that aspect, conflict is the position of a current stage or the need, or maybe the position of different energies for us for a simple purpose or need. I like that. I'll pass it to Liv.
Thanks, Mateo. For me, I think for me, I like to see conflict as a misunderstanding, because um, I think communication is the key in being in harmony or not, and there are so many factors that affect the way we communicate. And then I think in conflict, it's usually some type of gap between what somebody is saying and what the other person is hearing, as it comes from our, like, the way I listen has a lot to do with my universe, that it's only mine. And vice versa. So I think it's this balance between projections and reflections, that like when are we using the other just to as a screen to project our reality, and when are we allowing the other to be a mirror and to like see in them a reflection of us. And if this reflection is coming in a noisy way, I probably means that I need to look at something in myself and the way I am manifesting what I'm communicating. And I also like to see conflict as an opportunity for growth and transformation. So I don't think it's necessarily negative. And I pass to Tonga.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. I agree with most of what the three of you said. So, yeah. I don't like to go as like spiritual as Livy. I like more pragmatic solutions overall, but I agree in the most part. Yeah, I pass it to Septimus.
Thanks, Tonga. I really like what Livy said at the end of when the end of she was talking, like the conflict help us to grow and become a better persons and better community. And I also think like conflict is for me when you both persons care about something and they have different opinions on that something. That's when a conflict is created. For example, if I wanna go to the cinema with all of you and I don't care what feel we look, since I care more about the I'm looking it with you, it's fine. But if, for example, I wanna watch an I don't know romance movie and Juan wants to some action, then we have some conflict. But yeah, that doesn't have to be bad. We can no find a movie with half romance and action or something like that. Yeah, I'll pass it back to Juan.
Okay, I really like everyone's answers. Also, about what Livy said, I remember I read a philosopher named Emmanuel Levinas that he talked about how we see ourselves in the reflection of the eyes of the other, and that is really important. And also, like she was saying, of conflict as misunderstandings with another person, but we can also have inner conflicts with ourselves. So it's a very broad concept. Griff, we were just finishing the intro question, so if you want to participate, what is conflict for you?
Conflict for me is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to address an issue, and there are many ways to address a conflict, but conflicts are to be treasured as an opportunity.
Okay, with that, I want to start the formal part of this meeting and start with the first point of the agenda. That is to review the Gravity Forum post draft. So I would like if everyone can open that document. I will try to share my screen, but my computer goes really slow when I do that. So I will ask a little patience for that. Okay. So we are going to we are here in the Gravity working group called Notes, and we're going into the first point of the agenda, that is to review the Gravity forum post draft. And I think it's this one. Okay. I'm really sorry about this that happens every call, that I share my screen goes really bad, but well, it charged. So yes, what the scope that I have for the Gravity group for this next sprint is to have a training and practice of a group of mediators inside the organization. So for that, we need to establish what is going to be that role that we are going to train people to be at, or what is going to be their collective and individual responsibilities, what are going to be their requirements, and what are going to be their benefits. So I'm thinking on writing this forum post. I'm putting it on the forum so that everyone can know what we are trying to do. And as most of you have already come to these meetings, what we are trying to have is a group of people to address conflict in the organization in the most strategic and beneficial way we can have. And for that, they will have a responsibility as individuals and also as a collective. And they, as individuals, they would have to provide ADR, that is alternative dispute resolution, to the cases that are assigned, that are evidence, that are selected in the organization for this process, and also as a collective to take decision on the implementation of graduate sanctions, and preventing and resolving disputes in our community. Any question or suggestion until this part? Okay. So the idea is to actively prevent conflict, to recognize boundaries and areas of potential conflict, to promote dialogue in all levels inside the community. We propose that the group of Gravity should have some admin powers, because they would have responsibility towards withdrawing, voting non-unwanted proposals. They will have responsibility of muting certain people in the server, maybe if they are spamming, or to ban people from the server if that is one of the graduate sanctions that we are going to apply. So that I think that is important for this role. Yeah, and they will promote community resilience and commit to participation and respect, even with the people we have conflicts, because we don't want to antagonize anyone. Initially, we have the type form, that is one of the ways that our community can apply mutual monitoring. But as Lydia said, I think that we can have a brainstorm on what could be other mutual monitoring rituals or procedures that we could have inside the community, because this is only one, and the idea one like access input, but the idea is to have a very broad influence between all the different groups, and yeah, the idea of Gravity is not to be just one working in a specific issue, but is a working group whose mission is to ease the work of all working groups, and also to provide trust and to in the organization, and to work for the organization. So yeah, that's the idea. So for that, I want to open an open and inclusive process where every member of the community can put their name in a spreadsheet that will enable them to be part of the training of mediators in the organization. And I invite you, if you want to be part of this initiative, to put your name in this document, the TEC Gravity Open Call, because the idea is to have 8 sessions of training from 11th January to the 4th of February, and the requirement to be in the Gravity group after this training is to assist at least to 6 sessions, agree to the code of conduct for mediators, show knowledge of alternative dispute resolution, non-violent communication, the TEC and the Gravity process. And I think that I have like an initial proposal of topics that I would like to discuss in this training and selection process. But I would also love to receive feedback on what can be some topics that we can add into this agenda to make it a very inclusive and a very fast but very practical course for mediators. And I am also proposing that this group of people should also have additional exigences that are required to join and stay in the collective, additional exigences than the normal exigences of a contributor or a steward or a the different roles on the organization. And I took these 8 exigences from my own interpretation of the diverse manuals on alternative dispute resolution, and it basically aims that all members in the Gravity group participate without coercion from any actor, and that they move with self-determination, so that even though they help and work the different working groups, they don't defend any working group from another one, or like they don't have any favoritism for any steward, and that they will have to be as more impartial as they can. They will also have to, when they are not capable of facilitating a conversation for any possible bias reason, they should be competent. They should be. That's why we are making a training, so that we can certify some minimal competence about the community, that the Gravity working group members are trained, and they have a deep understanding of ways to help on the conflict, but also that they should have information and understanding about the specific topics that may be about. So what I'm trying to say here on this fourth principle is that maybe if there is a conflict in TEC spec, I mean, and maybe I am not so competent in the TEC spec. Maybe I can help in the ADR, but I am not competent in understanding certain specific topics. So maybe an advisory process should be like called, or if there is another mediator in the organization who has more competence than me inside the topic, that that case should be addressed to them. The fifth principle is confidentiality. I think this is really important because the other day I told my brother, my oldest brother, what I was trying to do, and he told me like, hey, but you have to try that there is no gossip about what you are trying to do, and he's right. I mean, this is really sensitive topics, and this is not a gossip club where people, it's like, hey, I want to hear what are the conflicts of the organization. Everyone should be confidential about the information that we handle internally in this group, and the cases that individually a mediator would have to work on. So it is very important. And if a person from the gravity group violates any of these principles, he could be removed from the group. Like if I don't know, if Septimus has confidence with me to tell me about a sensitive topic, and then I like talk it in a public meeting, that would be really bad for the conflict management process, and I would be out of the gravity group. They should have impartiality and neutrality. They should behave with professional responsibility. And I am proposing a rotation that initially each year a training and selection process will be run to encourage members of the community to become part of the gravity team. Livia told me that each year was too long for our community, and that we could have like twice or three times a year. And yeah, that is left for the community to decide. Also, as we have a type form, and the information of the type form is even more confidential than the one that we should handle in the gravity group, I am proposing that we have 3 levels of confidentiality inside the gravity group. That is that only a maximum of 3 members of the group will be able to look at the answers of the type form. The rest of the members will participate and review of the graduate sanctions, communicate it inside about the process, and get assigned cases that should be accepted by the mediator to put in place. And like the first confidentiality level would be between inside the ADR process. I mean, if we open a case of ADR, and I say like Livia is the mediator, and the stakeholders are Mateo and Septimus, the conversations between Livia, Mateo, and Septimus are confidential to themselves. The only thing that we can that we should remain of that information in our database is the information of a possible agreement or not due to the mediation process for follow-up and accountability. And then there should be another confidentiality level that is that only 3 members of the gravity group are able to see the raw input that comes from the community, and the duty of those 3 members that see the raw input is to transform that input into cases that can be assigned to a gravity member to facilitate. So, I mean, in the type form, it says Mateo is saying that he has a conflict with Septimus, but the idea is that after we have that information on the type form, we can create a case that involves Mateo and Septimus, but without like saying that it was Mateo who signaled, or Septimus, or that it was Mateo. Yeah, I mean, to have like a filter of this information, maybe if we read the raw input, maybe we can have like different perspectives. So the idea is not to make so much of analysis from the raw input, but to filter it to like identify conflict situations in the organization that should be assigned to the gravity member. And I am proposing that this group should also have as a collective responsibility the implementation of graduate sanctions, and that they should do this through a voting mechanisms inside the gravity group, where the gravity group can be responsible as a group for the decisions that we're taking into implementation of the sanctions. This is the other thing. Admin capabilities in some systems of communication, and that we want also to implement a protocol regarding calls, but this is one of the next topics in the agenda, so we can go into it after. That is basically to appoint a moderator and a facilitator for each call, so that we can follow the agenda, so we can also have ease the work of the facilitator, because we've seen in many calls that the facilitator also plays the role of the moderator, and if anyone is spamming or disturbing the conversation, is the same facilitator who is like explaining what is happening. And I think that it would be really easy and good to have a moderator in each call. So like the big idea that I have is that after the training sessions, we can have 7, 8, or 9 people trained in this that can be the gravity group, and that people can divide the moderation of different calls. And also it would be really nice that there is a representative of each working group inside the gravity group. I mean, if Livia is the steward of SoftGov, but there is another person in SoftGov that is also a leader in SoftGov and participates a lot, it would be ideal that that other person is also in the gravity group and is a representative of the SoftGov, so that if a conflict arises in SoftGov, he can maybe like address or talk to the gravity group what happened. I think that would be ideal, to have a representation of each group inside the gravity group, but different from the steward, because this also helps to have checks and balances. And also because I am trying to propose that the gravity group like has a certain deep relation with the stewards group, so that there can be like mutual accountability between them as well, because if no one watches on the gravity group, then they would have too much power, and we are creating checks and balances here. Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I feel like there is a lot in one piece, and I think it would be really helpful to break it down and to start to look into each section as its own little project that has to be developed. So one thing is, what is gravity, and what is this group, and the why, like, and this is mostly developed already. And then the second part would be what is to be a conflict manager inside of this group, and define this role, or at least predefine for it to be like more scoped out once this workshop starts to happen. And then 3, have a post for the course, So like, what is this course gonna be entitled of? Like, what is how many meetings? What are people learning in this course? Is there any prerequisites or not? When they come out of it, what is the expectations? And then that feeds back into the roles. And then beyond this all, to have a process for managing conflicts and the graduated sanctions for each type of conflict. And that, I feel like it's already more or less scoped out, and I think it's just about organizing into like, these are the possible conflicts that we could come up with already. Like, we can continue improving this list, and these are the graduated sanctions that we suggest using for each one of these cases. And then maybe this would be like a study of the course. Like, maybe part of the course would be like, let's go into each one of these possibilities and understand how we would solve this conflict based on like what we have and what is concretely happening. So yeah, my suggestion is just to really like divide all of this document and all of the work that has been done so far into separated projects that have each one its own timeline and specification.
And maybe it's even an epic and GitHub issues. But I think this is amazing, Juan. This is like the most complete roadmap. But I think this is amazing, Juan. This is like the most complete roadmap I've seen of group.
But I already have 3 epics like related to this process that yes are I can show them. Let me see where I have it. Okay. There are 3 epics around conflict management process and the conflict management training. So I think that is like the 3 main issues, and I would like to develop a little more on this suggestion to make it like, you say that I should post it in like 3 posts in the forum, or how do you say that I should?
I think it could be different posts in the forum, because then it becomes like shorter to read and people can give feedbacks to each specific session.
Okay, then that is something that I will do. I will write these 3 posts related to the epics, and I will also like relate, copy the links of the GitHub issues related to each like topic, because I think that I have like the issues and the epic in Discord, but I haven't like connected it that much with the work with this work. So it would be nice to have that. Okay. I will divide this into three points. With that, I want to pass to the next point of the agenda, and I think that it was the open call for mediation training. What do you think about that? Do you think that we should like have this open call opened already, or that we should wait a little bit to open it when like we have more profiled what is going to be the training and the course? I think that we can start right now, like gathering the information of the interested people, and while we have that information, we can also like keep polishing what are the topics for the training.
I feel like it would be good to scope out first, like to have, and this can be, it could be something that we all do together. Like we can have a hacking session for it. We can do like a, I don't know, have at least something to present to this open call, because then we can make it broader, like not only for our immediate community, like people that have been coming to all of the calls, but I don't know, coordinate with the comms team and make a tweet about it and have like a reach, because I think a lot of people might be interested about it, but then it's cool to have information about like, oh, I'm signing up here, but for what? Like, what is going to happen? So we could do that.
Agree with that, because that would be amazing. That maybe there is other people that joins this community exclusively to play this role, so that maybe they can also have a further knowledge from the TEC, but that they can also be like impartial and not like tied to anyone. The third point of the agenda is to something that is between the transparency working group that is leading Septimus, and the Gravity and SoftGov, and is that I want to propose like a first draft of a protocol for calls, that if you want, and if you can, we can try to implement it the first time today in our community call that is in 1 hour. So what we would need is to set a moderator that would be different from the facilitator that normally is Griff, and that moderator would help the facilitator with the agenda and with the times of the agenda, and also if there is some type of disturbance.
Wow, I think that's amazing. I think that's really cool, because we and Evie were discussing that for the calls, and yeah, I think that's awesome. I have a hack session this Saturday with Evie at 10 a.m. CAT. Everyone can join. Of course I will have this, and wow, that's amazing. I will have some feedback when we discuss it more in detail, but that looks so cool.
I am writing here that some of the
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Would you be willing to be the moderator for this community call? Okay, I just gave you admin powers. I believe in the TEC. I hope that works. Yeah, you should see it. Probably you'll have to restart Discord, but then you'll see new powers that you have. So you have the power to mute and do all sorts of crazy stuff. And then at the beginning of the call, do we want to try other, like, also you had mentioned like announcing that the gravity type form, and probably some other things that I can intro in the call. I assume I'm pretty confident I'm a facilitator for that call. So
yeah, I think that would be really nice. And yes, I think it would be really nice. And also I would like make an in the call to say like to know that to let know to the people that the call is being recorded and streamed. So if they don't want to appear or something, they turn off their camera. and if they stay, they agree to publish.
This is something we should probably like have a voting for that we never did. Like have a voting that all of the calls are recorded.
Yeah, I think that is something that the transparency group has to figure out. I also propose that there is a certain privacy because, as I was saying before, the gravity group needs confidentiality in certain topics. So yeah, it implies a little bit of management of transparency.
Is there a way also to differentiate what is private or not if you are using maybe Zoom? Zoom is usually more private than Discord. If a call is being held over Discord, I think that it's public, like per se. Like if it's over Discord, I think that everyone can jump in anytime. So maybe a differentiator is if the meeting is being held over Zoom or somewhere else, probably.
I think this is an important topic. It's like while I think it's still good to do the voting, it's always good to vote on issues and give opportunities. Like Mateo said, Discord is public. Anyone can hop in, can hop into our Discord. So recording it is another level, but there is a lack of expectation of privacy in that situation.
There could be maybe some type of agreement of like, perhaps if some type of code of conduct was violated during a call, then there could be a discussion if that call is goes public or not. Like maybe we can think of a guideline of some sort.
Well, except we're live streaming the community calls because we get over 25 people. So going back and undoing it is really hard.
What about if we make another topic and another forum post with this and like say if they agree or if they consider there are other things? Okay, so now we have to have four topics. It's like the deliverables of this meeting. And with that, I want to jump to the fourth point of the agenda, and is the TEC Code of Conduct. I think this is a very valuable document that needs a little bit of work and that started some months ago. But now that we have a lot more of contributors, and now that we are like addressing so much of the rules and boundaries that we are going to have as a community, that we can like review and update this document. So yeah, it's important for everyone to familiarize and also to like be able to make comments on what do you think that it can be improved. Because also I think that maybe there is not so much familiarization with this document, and that sometimes people ask certain questions that can be just answered if this document was like a little bit more promoted. So what do you think about this document? Have you read it?
I think it's pretty out of date. Right, Livia? I mean, this was written 3 months ago or something.
Yeah, I haven't read this document in so long.
What I would like to see is the code of conduct attacked. And added as something that we make the hatchers sign on to. It's kind of like terms of service. There's the legal piece that needs to be, there. And Santi is here. That's nice. Oh wait, no, is Santi still here? Yeah. So that's great. We need to have the hatchers need to sign on to some extra terms, basically just saying yo, you're part of the C-Stack Association, that's great, but this is not the Common Stack Association. We are creating the Token Engineering Commons, which is a DAO-based platform, and this is how the hatch will work, and blah, blah, blah. These are what you're agreeing to by buying into the hatch or by depositing into the hatch. And then we'll need a lot of soft gov and all the agreements that we want TEC token holders to agree to need to be in that as well. It can be 3 different check marks, or it can be 1 check mark, however you guys want to play it. But, if we want people to agree to a code of conduct, they better agree to it before they get their tokens.
Yeah, this can be part of our session tomorrow.
Okay, I think it would be great to keep hacking on this, and I agree that it's very important for people to know what are the expected behavior in the organization, what are the rules, what are our values, and to keep updating this document, and to make it something that we can call to if anything happens. And also, how can people sign it? As I am not a tech expert, I would say a private signature or an electronic signature, but I don't know if there's that.
We don't have to make them sign it. We can make it just a simple checkbox, and then when they send funds when they deposit funds into the TEC, they can't do it without checking that checkbox. So that seems to be standard practice.
I want to hear if any of you has any thinking that can improve these ideas, or a flaw point that they see that can be improved.
Go ahead, Tonga.
Okay. No, that if I was reading that we are value driven, not profit driven. So I would like to say that I think rushing the launch just because there is a bull market doesn't align much with that.
Well, it's an interesting point of view, and I think, yeah.
I just wanted to say, being. Can you mute one sec? I hear my voice. What I wanted to say is we can use the markets to use them to reach our goals, and that doesn't have to not be aligned with our values. The same was talking, we could use those dragons to reach at our goals, and it's not like we just using them like an object. And I think that doesn't have to change how we act and how we use them.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about this, but the point isn't to make money with the TEC. but there is a goal of getting as much money into the funding pool as possible so we can support more token engineering public goods. And that is supported by doing it during the bull market. So it's not about profit, it's about value. It's about being able to capture value for TE public goods. But maybe we can, what Juan was asking is if there's any questions that can really dive into like how this document can be improved. And maybe we could just do a quick round and give them support there. For me, I think Livia really nailed it. Is just breaking it up into digestible pieces and then reviewing them one by one and not overwhelming too much at once, because no one will read a really long document and make comments, but like it's harder to get people's buy-in for that if you give a short, focused piece, and then we can try to gather feedback. And of course, during the community calls, we can spam the links to these forum posts, and we can even tweet them and see if we have outside interest. I would pass it to Mateo.
Yeah, I agree. I'm liking everything that how you have put it, and I will totally join the course that you will be making since January for sure. So I agree with Griff. Really long documents will not be really read by many. So yeah, I pass it to Liv.
Yeah, I'll also join that course and support on what you need. And I think I don't have more to add. And I'll pass to Zep.
Yeah, I also would love to join the course, and I think like the feedback Levi gave us before, it's like so cool. Like we just have to structure on small pieces, and yeah, and then work on that. I think that's very cool. And I'll pass it to Alex.
Hey, I don't have much to add. I'm just getting up to speed at the moment.
Pass it to
And I
Santi.
pass it on.
I think we all agree it's a great document, and we all agree that we want that to be accomplished. We want to have that group of people doing that job. So, since I absolutely agree, it's a long document because it cannot be a short document. We have to find a way to transmit to the community that joining this is a privilege, and it's a great way of integrating into the community. And once we have people involved and wanting to join, we'll have plenty of time to use huge documents that they will have to go through. So probably we need a communication strategy, and then the actual program or course or training that they will have to go through. I would split into, initially how we communicate to have people interested and join, and then digest all that information into that specific group instead of trying to get everyone to read on a couple of sentences what, from my personal view, we're not going to be able to reduce in a couple of sentences all that content, and we need all that content.
Want to say for this closing round?
Yeah, I usually have more skill by writing than talking, so I don't have much to add on that.
Okay. What I want to say is thank you for being in this call. You are really like helping me make the best things that I'm like doing in my life, and like really something that passionates me. And about the topics, the training, that I would really love if we can have like external experts to talk on some of these topics. I mean, I talked to one of my teachers of the Masters of Conflict Management, and she told me like she would do it like really gladly, but she doesn't speak English. So it would be nice if we can have like people from the community or outside the community that are experts in this type of topics that can help us in this group. So maybe like if you have any friend that is a very good in, I don't know, in theories of conflict, I think of Lowy, that she's also very good at this, or thinking on an expert about nonviolent communication, because I mean I have a, but I don't feel myself as a sage in each of these topics, so I can lead a course, but I would like appreciate a lot of help from experts. And that's it. And thank you for joining this call.